Hi, I'm Amber from Influencer Updates on Instagram and TikTok, and tonight I'm going to be answering your anonymous questions that were submitted on my story via the NGL link. There were 70 submissions. A lot of them are double ups, a lot of them I don't know the answer to, so I'm going to try and get through all the ones that I do know. The first question that's already come up on the screen before I did my intro was what is going on with Mark and Sharon Orval. So for months now, I'll have to link it somehow in the caption of the video, but for months now I have been speculating that they have split, and I still believe that they have split. There is something going on between them. They very rarely post each other on their stories, and if they do, I feel like it's sort of just maybe a crossover. So it might be that they're crossing over babysitting duties and things. It doesn't seem like their normal style of posting. And then tonight, Sharon has announced that she's moved into a new apartment. It looks very, very luxe. And she was saying, you know, if you're unhappy and want a change of life, like a change of environment is really good for that. If you're unhappy, did I say happy or unhappy? Anyway, she did say we have moved into a new apartment. So that's the only bit that confuses me. I'm not sure if she's referring to Angry Dad, which is Mark Orval, or if she has moved in with somebody else potentially. Don't know, but watch this space on that one. I've been watching, probably for months now, and I'm not sure of the answer. Obviously, I hope that they haven't split, but maybe they're just on rocky grounds and maybe they're working through it, and this new apartment could be a fresh start for them. Who knows? All right, so the first question I've got on the anonymous link. Do you know anything about an influencer but unable to say it because it's too controversial and you don't want to get in trouble? Yes, I do. I know of 2 female influencers that are pregnant, but I do not want to give away their pregnancy news, and because it's not my news to tell, and that is also very controversial to be doing that if I was to do that. But yes, I guess clues are they are both Queensland, they are both female, and one already has a child, and one it will be her first child. Yep. That's the only clues, because I don't want to give away clues. I don't want people to guess, if you know what I mean. It's not my news to tell, like I said. Next question. Do you find it weird the way Sophie Kisha speaks to her partner, Maddy? Weird vibes to me. I do find it weird. I find that it's not a normal way that you would speak to a partner, but Sophie is about 10 years older than Maddy, and I feel like you can tell in the way that they speak to each other. Like, Sophie speaks to Maddy in a motherly sort of tone. And she has joked on podcasts before that she's even said on the podcast, the influencer pages are going to love this. And then she said that she feels, I think it was something like she feels very motherly towards Maddy. It was something like that. So she knows that she acts that way and feels that. That's obviously what works for them. It's not weird because they are only 10 years apart, and Maddy is a fully... Maddy is a fully grown adult. So it's not weird, but... Sorry, what I mean by it's not weird is it's not creepy, I guess, but it is not traditional, I suppose. They're dynamic. Next question. Have you heard anything on Samantha Monigan? What do you think happened between her and Lloyd? Does he see their daughter Stevie? Samantha was on stories this week. So she's a smaller influencer. I think she's only got less than 15,000 on Instagram, but I feel like a lot of people seem to follow her that I know of, but she is Mornington Peninsula based, and she had 2 daughters to a previous partner, and then she had this new partner, Lloyd, who's a real estate agent over on the peninsula, and they had a daughter together, Stevie. And during her pregnancy, there was a lot of breakup posts. Like, she would post a lot of things to her stories saying about this manipulative narcissist and gambling addictions and all this sort of stuff, and that they'd broken up, and then they'd get back together. And then I think Lloyd was posting that, after they had Stevie, I believe Lloyd was posting that Samantha is withholding Stevie from him, and it's been all very public, all their fighting. And this week, Samantha actually posted to her stories, she was saying that she thinks she's actually going to go offline and she wants to just protect her peace. She was saying she's not actually get anything out of it anymore, and she just wants to protect her peace. And I think that is probably the best move for her, because she has had a lot of, I guess, trauma going on in this last 2 years, like being pregnant and breaking up with your partner and all the fighting that she's been having, and being public makes it even worse, I feel. But yeah, as I said, she has mentioned gambling in the past. I think she's mentioned cheating, but yeah, I don't know for sure what's happened, but they have now split, which I think is probably for the best. So I'm just going to see on the screen what people are saying. Oh, people are guessing Brit Hockley is pregnant. No, I don't believe she is pregnant. She might be, but I haven't heard anything. But she did say on her podcast just this week that her and her partner Ben she personally is not sure if she wants to even have children still. She's definitely not sure of that. She definitely said that she wouldn't want to have a child on her own, as in like not living with Ben. So she would want to be living with Ben when they have a child. And then she also said that they are, not sure that they want to have children, but they've been trying for the past 2 years since they met. And that was very conflicting, I feel. She also, she was saying that she is probably going to struggle to get pregnant, I think due to her age. I think she's nearly 40. She has frozen her eggs in the past. And I think that she was saying that because of fertility issues, or maybe just because of her age, I'm not sure, that's why they've been trying, because that way if they just do happen to naturally fall pregnant, it would be a bonus. But yeah, it was a very strange podcast, and I was thinking, okay, this sounds really weird what she's saying. Maybe I'll listen a bit more and it will explain it a bit more. But I feel like the more she explained it, the worse it sounded. Because yeah, like I feel if you don't know if you want to have children, why are you trying to have children? But yeah, I just thought that was very conflicting. But yeah, I don't know if she is pregnant. I haven't heard anything. Tayla Broad and Brooke Hogan in competition with parenting and almost mimicking each other in what each other do or don't. Oh, I haven't noticed that. I do follow both of them. Yeah, I know that Brooke Hogan this week, it was yesterday, she put stories up advising her audience that she is not Hulk Hogan's daughter. So Hulk Hogan recently passed away. He's an American boxing star or some sort of fighting of some sort. And yeah, he has a daughter called Brooke Hogan, but she had to go on her stories and say, stop sending me messages of condolences and also hate messages and things. I am not Hulk Hogan's daughter. And she said people were also accusing her of using the name Brooke Hogan to get fame from the Hulk Hogan family. And she's like, I'm not using this name. Like, this is the name I was born with. It was very funny, I thought. I mean, probably not funny for her because she's getting all these messages and things, but yeah, she is not Hulk Hogan's daughter. And also with Tayla Broad, she has released a cookbook that's coming up in September. So I feel like I haven't seen her talk about this on Instagram, but she was at Chadstone doing appearances. So she was doing 3 cooking demonstrations per day. Yesterday, so Thursday, she did, the first one was with Larinska Merrington. Second one, I can't even remember, but she also did one with Olivia Molly-Rogers. She also did one with Brooke Warren. And she had all these other celebrities at Chadstone doing cooking demonstrations with her from her new cookbook. And yet she hasn't posted anything about it on Instagram, unless I've just missed that somehow. But yeah, she's coming out with a cookbook and it will be released in September. And as for Tayla and Brooke copying each other's parenting, I feel like most influencers seem to copy each other. I don't know. I definitely see a lot of influencers posting similar stuff. Oh, okay. I might just screenshot that. Someone is saying an influencer is pregnant. Yeah, someone is confused that Brit Hockley is nearly 40. She might even be 40. Yeah, that is true. Do you believe that Tammy Hembro is suing Matt Zukowski and his friends for defamation? They are supposedly So Dramatic's claims from someone who sent her a DM. Oh, I have to listen to that episode. So Dramatic did a podcast episode this week. And yeah, apparently they mentioned that Tammy Hembro is suing Matt and his friends for defamation. I don't know what they have said that would be defamatory. I haven't seen anything that they've said. So yeah, I'll have to listen to the episode of that one. All right, next one. Have you seen Kayla Jade's podcast show notes? She has a huge team running it. The camera operator is the only person without a name on the list. Could it be her baby daddy? Oh, I mean, it could be. But also, I think maybe the camera person, it might just be like on a tripod, and maybe the editor would be the camera person. So maybe that's why they haven't listed a camera person. But yeah, I think a lot of influencers do have a big team running their podcasts. I was listening to Brit Hawkley's interview with Lorna Jane, and Brit Hawkley was saying that when her she approached Laura to start a podcast. That is how they started Life Uncut, right back in the day before podcasts were even huge. And she was saying how her responsibilities were sales, getting sponsors, script writing, and she was saying like all the roles she was doing herself. And then Laura was responsible for producing, which is the editing and things. And then, Lorna Jane was saying, it's amazing how much is involved in a podcast. Like, there's so many different things you've got to do, and you would never even know. You think that you just rock up and talk on a microphone. And that really made me realize how much work is involved in a podcast. And that would be why Kayla Jade has a team running it, because her time is better spent producing like more social media content and marketing herself and being the face of her brand and doing her full service sex work. I think that's what she does as a job. So that makes a lot of sense that she's got a team. Next question. Why does Anna McAvoy act like the only woman to have had a baby? Why do women like her make such a big deal out of every aspect of them being pregnant or a mother? What happened to simply just being pregnant or being a mother? Influencers have truly made such a big deal out of these two things. It's so obnoxious. I don't think this is relevant to Anna McAvoy personally. I think this is just the influencer culture. So attention is the aim of the game. Like, all of them are aiming to get attention. And by creating pregnancy content and motherhood content, they are making themselves relatable. So they are relating to other people that are pregnant and other mothers who are online and wanting motherhood content and wanting to feel more normal. And I think that's what it is. They're just playing to an audience and sharing their experiences. And definitely I'm not saying Anna does this, but definitely influencers do blow things out of proportion a lot and exaggerate things a lot. And I think that's what social media is, because it would be boring. It would be boring if everyone got online every day and said, my life is perfect. Like, my kids were perfect today. They ate all their food. They slept all night. Everyone would be like, oh, I hate that influencer. Like, her life is so perfect. Sophie Timon, I think her name is. She gets criticized for that all the time, for saying how perfect her life is. And then, when influencers say everything's a big deal, they get criticism as well. So I guess they just can't win. Okay, what else have we got? Ashy Bines' new engagement ring. Says it's 4 carat, looks huge. So I think she has got a new engagement ring. I think that this is a real trend lately. A lot of jewelry brands seem to be sponsoring influencers to get new engagement rings. I know Kat Clark did it. M. Davies did it, but she'd only just gotten married. So she did it as like, she's creating a ring for her daughter that she was going to pass down or something. Who else did it? Georgie Stevenson, she got a new one. But I'm guessing Ashy Bines did it as part of that trend, or like was sponsored to get a new one or gifted or something like that. Reece Hawkins and Liv Kelly in Bali together. Yes, it appears that they are in a relationship together, Reece Hawkins and Liv Kelly. Liv is posting a lot, and there's lots of glimpses of Reece. So it might be like the side of his arm or his hand or the back of his head. So she's very much making it clear that they're together, and Reece Hawkins has not posted anything about her yet, which is fair enough, because I feel like he has a lot of different Instagram girlfriends over the years, and it's probably best that he doesn't post them all the time. But I've noticed that they all like to post him. Speaking of secret posting, Nick Kyrgios, he has a new girlfriend. Her name is Mia. She's also an Instagram girl, and she was posting stories the other day in like a hotel room in Saudi Arabia, and you could see on the screen it said, "Welcome, Nick Kyrgios." So they're obviously together as well. But again, she's sort of like this Liv Kelly person, where she's definitely showing like glimpses of Nick, and Nick is not showing anything of her. I'd say it's mainly because these men, because they're famous, they know what it's like when they start dating a new girl and they get hounded with criticism and all that sort of thing. I'd say that's why they're hiding them as well. Yeah. Sorry, I'll go back to the screen. People asking about Sharon again. Oh yeah, this person's saying there's a lot of work involved in podcasts, but I think a lot of these Nova podcasts are all managed. The host literally can mostly just show up and speak and then somewhat market their podcast on their socials. Totally agree. And I think that that is the way it should be for them. Like, if they can afford to put enough ads because they get enough downloads, they can put enough ads on their podcast to fund a team to run it for them. it is best that they spend their time just showing up, doing the talking, and then doing the other work that they do. Yeah, this person's saying that all mums think that being a mum is the most amazing thing on earth at the time. Let them love that. This person's saying that they get really icky vibes from how much Tammy shares of Posey. It's really odd how much she posts of Posey on her socials with absolutely no hesitation to her millions of followers. I definitely agree with that. One of the questions that I was submitted, I haven't got to it yet, but it said, is there anything about influencers that gives you the ick? And yeah, the amount of content of children is what gives me the ick. I've said it many, many times, but sometimes I feel like I know way too much about children that I've never even met. Like what school they go to and what suburb they live in and how old they are and how old their siblings are and their middle names, and it's just a lot. Oh, there's another question that's kind of relevant to this. Somebody was saying how Ashy Bines posted about her daughter today saying light of my life. And then the question was, what about Taj? I've noticed that Ashy Bines has pretty much stopped posting her son Taj. I think it's great that she's stopped posting him because, as I said, I don't love when influencers post their children all the time. But I would say that this is because he's gotten to an age where he's probably deciding for himself that he doesn't want to be posted online. And that's my guess, but I would say that that's great that Ashy is respecting that. So yeah, I don't think it's that she loves her daughter more than her son. I think it's that her daughter isn't old enough to make up her mind about being on social media yet, so she's just going with it and posting her. And yeah, I also think it's okay to compliment one of your children, and that doesn't mean that you like that child more than the other one. But interestingly, Ashy Bines used to be offended by that. When there'd be a photo that she'd post with herself and Sammy and Gretty, if someone said something like, oh, Gretty, I love your outfit, or Gretty, you look great, Ashy would fire back at them saying, well, what about me and Sammy? Like Ashy didn't like when one person was complimented. She wanted all people to be complimented. But anyway. Oh, the person saying that Nick is dating Mia from Love Island. Yeah, that's right. She is from Love Island. Amy Jane Brown has entered the chat. She has said, independently built podcasts are a ton of work. Podcasts signed by houses such as Nova have creators legit walk in and be given a script. There we go. There we have it. Oh, someone's asking if I've mentioned Josh and Bridget. No, there were a lot of questions submitted about them, so I will answer that question now. So yes, Josh and Bridget. So Bridget is from Bianca and Bridget, the clothing brand, which Beth Judd works for. She's also from Booby Tape, which you'll find in all your supermarkets and most pharmacies and things. It's also sold overseas, but yeah, they are sisters and they created those massive Australian brands. And Bridget, who had a baby 3 months ago, Elle is her baby, E-double-L-E. Her and her husband Josh have announced that they have split and they have only been married 2.5 years. So it's very sudden. It's a big shock. I noticed that only a month ago they went to her hometown of Mildura together. So they must have been together a month ago. There was speculation online that he has just been partying a lot. So maybe since they had their baby, she's expecting him to support her and the baby. And he's just been off living his best single life and not knuckling down and being a dad sort of thing. That is one theory. Another theory I was sent with no proof or anything was that Bridget is broke, but I don't know if he would leave her because she's broke. I think that he has money of his own and that's not going to achieve anything by leaving her. So I'm not sure about that theory. And then obviously there's cheating theories, but again, I haven't really heard anything substantial about that. But yeah, so that's my theory. I'm going to go with the first one, that he just isn't being great as a dad. He's not being supportive of Bridget or of baby Elle. And yeah, maybe Bridget's plan was to return to work early and he was going to look after Elle, and then maybe he decided not to. I don't know the reason. That's just some theories I'm throwing out there. Next question. Opinions on Josh Miller going to New Zealand when the baby is so young? I addressed this last week. More that people were a bit, I guess, they were debating whether he should go away at all because Steph's just had a baby, but mainly because Steph would need the support. But yeah, I suppose when the baby is so young, I don't know. She was staying at one of those places where they help look after you and your baby. So she was very well cared for. So it was probably a really good time for him to go away. And babies that age, they really don't do much, honestly. The baby's only, 2 months old or something, and they just sleep all the time. And, well, sometimes, my first one didn't. They just sleep a lot, they feed a lot, they poo a lot, and that's about all they really do. So I don't think it's a bad thing that he's left them in good hands to go on a holiday to New Zealand. This person's saying, he's a stay-at-home dad. Josh can go to New Zealand. He deserves it. This person's saying, I'm not sure why you would want to be away from your brand new baby. To each their own, though. Amy Jane Brand is adding to the podcast conversation that the ratio of money they get is 80% goes to the house and 20% of the influencer, 20% goes to the influencer. Yeah, okay, so that would be the ad revenue, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's definitely true, actually. The offers that I've got from podcast networks has been, I feel like it's been that, or maybe it's been 50-50. I can't even remember. Don't know, but yeah, Amy's saying that 80% goes to like the network, I suppose, and like the producers and things, and the influencer gets 20%. This person's added to the Steph debate that Queenstown is only 3 hours from Melbourne, so, and Josh has only gone for a few days. Yeah, that's so true. If anything happened, he could fly back. Someone's asked here, how old is Ashy Bines' son Taj? I believe he's 11, because I know that he's the same age as Grady Rose's daughter, and I think she turned 10 recently, so maybe he's 10. I think he's 10. Oh, someone's saying Ashy Bines is listing. Okay. Well, lucky I didn't say anything bad about her. Tammy Hembro's stage dancing and candid moments and lip syncing give me the ick. Yeah, interesting. I haven't heard that before. Like, no one's ever said that to me before. But yeah, her TikToks are very much staged, and like she will always, I think she films a lot of content and we only see a portion of it because she's always posting like funny things will happen when she's doing a dancing video. Like she'll fall over her son, or her kids will pull a funny face or whatever. But yeah, maybe she's just recording it heaps and heaps of times, and then she's posting like candid moments, but they're not really that candid because she's been filming for so long. Not sure, but her videos are so entertaining. And even though I don't agree that influencers should post their children, I do love watching content of influencers' children. So I get why they do it. Like, that is high engagement content. Gosh, that makes me such a hypocrite, doesn't it? This person's saying, why would Bridget be broke? Don't they have multi-million-dollar businesses? Totally agree. I suppose you can be asset rich and cash poor. So you can have these businesses that are worth millions, but you might have $0 in the bank. But yeah, a lot of people here are saying they don't believe that she's broke. Someone's saying I should go on the Happy Hour podcast. Yeah, I don't know what people would want to ask. I suppose because I do my own Q&As, people ask stuff all the time, but I suppose it would be different vibes. It would be more like insider, like behind the scenes sort of stuff. But yeah, obviously I love the Happy Hour podcast, and Lucy doesn't seem to hate me anymore, so that would be amazing if I went on that. Amazing for me, hopefully amazing for the listeners as well. What are your thoughts on Emma Sweeney, one of Lucy and Nikki's friends? Oh, that's a weird coincidence. I was just talking about their podcast. The question continues. She runs a business in development and design, but does not appear to have equals, always posting about developments she is doing, but we have never seen a finished product of one. Something seems off. I agree, something seems off. So she definitely has had some finished projects in the past when she was with her ex-boyfriend, Matt, who is now with that Shoni Botel from Survivor. But interestingly, I noticed that Emma posted some stories one time of like flat lays of designs and stuff she was working on. And somebody, I don't know if they put it into like Google reverse images, they found that it was actually a screenshot from Pinterest. So ever since then, I've been skeptical about what sort of design work she's doing. But yeah, she definitely seems to have money, and she seems to have a very partying sort of lifestyle. Okay, now people asking about Sharon and Matt, Brit Hockley, Taj. Why do you think Lee Elliott and Georgia Love split? I think they split because he's dating Carrie Bickmore. Now, I know this came out a week or two ago by Women's Day that there's like these rumours that they're dating. I posted this 2 months ago and it got a little bit of traction, but I expected it would have got a lot more. But yeah, I have been hearing rumours that they are dating and everything checks out, like all the followings and everything. Like Georgia's not following Carrie, and they would definitely have had a lot of crossover in the industry. So there's a reason she's not following Carrie. And I think that's why they broke up. And that is why Georgia hasn't spoken about why they've broken up, because she doesn't want to say that he's been cheating. And then people will be like, well, who with? And yeah, I think that's why they broke up. That is 100% my theory. Do you think Letitia Clark has broken up with her boyfriend? I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him, but I don't think... Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's a long-distance relationship. I'm pretty sure he lives in Perth and she lives on the Gold Coast, and that would be why we don't see him much. But no, I haven't heard that they've broken up, but who knows? Weirder things have happened. Who do you think is the most influential Aussie influencer right now? I mean, apart from obviously the big ones, I'm not going to pick that because it's boring. I'm going to say Bella Messina. I'm going to say Bella Messina is probably one of the most underrated influencers right now. I looked at her account the other day. People constantly message me about her. I think that I've only just started following her in the last few months because people just constantly message me about her. And I looked at her Instagram and she's only got about 27,000 followers. And I don't understand, because she is just so highly engaging. She's pumping out so much content. She's constantly doing ads on her stories. And yeah, I think that I'm going to go with her as being one of the most influential Australian influencers right now. Let's go with that. I think it's also really clever how she appeals to the single mums. She also appeals to like the normal parents and stuff. And yeah, she just has a way of like appealing to everybody. I also think it's interesting she keeps calling herself an almost 30-year-old. She only just turned 29. And I mean, when I was 29, I was claiming that I was in my 20s right up until the day that I turned 30. So I thought that was quite funny. Don't know that one. Brit Hockley's podcast today on eating disorders, when it seems she has a lot of red flags for one. I haven't heard the podcast, but I do find that people who have had eating disorders in the past, I don't know if it's something that you ever 100% get over. I was reading a book recently. It's called I'm Glad My Mum Died. And it's by Jeanette McCurdy. She was on the TV series iCarly when she was a child. And then she was on the TV series Sam and Cat, which was with Ariana Grande. And she spoke a lot about her eating disorder in that book. And yeah, it sort of got to a point where she wasn't cured, but she was cured enough for it not to be considered an eating disorder anymore. And yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh, I feel like that is a really common thing. And a lot of influencers, or just people in general who have had eating disorders in the past, they then go on to have sort of restrictive diets in the future. So it might be that they're gluten-free or dairy-free. Like there's always some sort of restriction going on. So yeah, maybe Brit Hockley, that is why it appears she might be showing some red flags for a eating disorder, but she probably doesn't have one. She might just have, a few red flags. I don't know. I mean, it's that whole story that I just told wasn't about Brit Hockley in particular. Like, I don't know her mental health situation. Do you think that it's a bit tone deaf of Gracie Piscopo at the BB Baddest Bod tanning event to joke about her ex being in jail for literally murdering his mother? It's like she's making a mockery of it. Yes, I think that it is. Tone deaf is maybe not even the right word. I think that it is just really inappropriate, I suppose. So yeah, at the Baddest Bod tanning event, there was this TikTok trend and they were asking all the influencers it said, you're really funny. And then they had to say why they're really funny, like something traumatic that's happened to them that's made them a really funny person. And she said, my ex is in jail. And yeah, her ex is in jail for literally murdering his mum while he was with Gracie. But Gracie is not involved. But yeah, I don't think it was really appropriate considering that is the father of her son. And also, yeah, it just wasn't great. But it is what it is. Well, none of us have been through that situation, so I guess we don't know how we would react. Sorry, I'll get back on the screen. Oh, Aussie Influencer Watch has asked how many subscribers Bella has. So with subscription on Instagram, you can actually see how many subscribers people have. If you click on the subscribe button, it won't subscribe you straight away. It will just take you to a landing page where it tells you how many subscribers the person has. And I reckon she's got a lot. From memory, it's over 2,000, I reckon. Like, it's a lot of people. So yeah, she's doing really well with that. I do subscribe to her. And yeah, if you want to know how many subscribers I have, that is how you can find out. I do also run close friends, which people subscribe through PayPal, because a lot of people can't subscribe through the app for various reasons. It just waitlists them, and there is no waitlist. So then I had to set up close friends where I duplicate all the content, and people subscribe to that as well. But yeah, if you want to know anyone, how many people they have subscribing, that is how you can do it. What happened to Julian Woods getting put in jail? True, that was happening the other day. He was in America and he was put in jail for something. I don't know, I'm going to have to follow up on that one. Oh, Indy Clinton has finally come out about her nose. Yeah, so I don't know what people wanted from her, honestly. Like, she didn't... Okay, let me go back a step. So a few months ago, Indy Clinton said that she was getting a nose job because she had a surfing accident where a surfboard whacked her in the nose. I don't know what it did wrong. Her nose looked aesthetically perfect to me. Maybe there was some internal damage that she was getting fixed. I'm not sure. Maybe, I think that's what it was, because then she was saying while she was under, she asked them to do some minor tweaks to her nose. And what they did was they put the tip right up, and in the end, one of her nostrils is quite a bit higher than the other, and they are uneven. And she thought that it was swelling, which I'm guessing that's what the doctors told her. It was swelling, and then it would all subside, and then her nose would be even again. Everybody has been trolling her. Not everybody, sorry. A whole heap of haters, awful people, I'm guessing not the people that are watching this, have been trolling her for months, saying, oh, you've wrecked your face, and oh, this is horrible or ugly or whatever. And I just don't get it. Like, what do they want from her? Like, she obviously does. She has come out and said she doesn't regret her nose job, but does she wish she had her old nose back? Yes. Like, yeah, I just don't know what people want from her. Do they want an apology? Like, do they want her to apologize that she got a nose job and doesn't like the result? Like, I think that what we all need to take from this is, firstly, stop picking on people's appearances. But secondly, surgery can go wrong. Plastic surgery can go wrong. So let's all take that as a warning. What else have we got? Do you think Lucy and Nikki will become full-time radio hosts? No, I don't. I think that it's probably too much work, in that I think I was listening to a podcast one time with Mark Burris. They were being interviewed by him, and they were saying that they have to physically be there to record. I think it's twice a week. They do pre-record their Friday and Saturday night shows, but yeah, they've got to be there to actually record them twice a week. Whereas I feel like they've got a lot more flexibility with their podcast, and then they've got their influencer work, and they've got their fashion brand, and I just don't think they've got the capacity to become full-time radio hosts. And Nikki also mentioned that she wants to have a baby, and if she was, like, she's not sure how that's going to look for the radio show and the podcast and things if she has a baby. So no, I don't think so. Has Lily Brown become less relevant and popular since moving to the Sunshine Coast? Yes, definitely. But I think that's intentional. I think that she's intentionally showing a lot less online. She's just enjoying her life with Jet, enjoying the quieter life, and yeah, just focusing on her brand, which is chill pajamas. But the thing is, I feel like she needs to show herself more online. Otherwise, the brand is going to shut down. Like, that, I think, is what happened to Chloe Zepp. She had her activewear brand Zepp and then stopped being online and then closed down the brand. So you sort of have to... She is the face of her brand, Lily is, and she has to be online promoting it. Same with Sky Wheatley and Good People Apparel. Like, the brands are nothing without the face. What else? Do you think Tammy will launch her next man? And if so, do you think he will be somebody famous or another nobody? Nobody. I mean, Matt Zukowski wasn't a nobody. He was an ex-Love Islander, so he was semi-famous and had a podcast. Okay, it's back. Matt Paul wasn't a nobody. He was an Iron Man. Like, he had a bit of a profile and he had sponsors and things. And then Reece Hawkins, he was a nobody, but so was Tammy at the time that they met. And then her other boyfriends like Jarkoi, the rapper, and I mean, Tiger, if you want to call him a boyfriend, they obviously were famous, but that wasn't proper relationships. So I'm going to say another nobody. Another nobody going by this. So like somebody Australian with a bit of a profile, unless she decides to change types. I think that she needs to go for somebody who is not on social media. That is my advice. That was also my advice to their relationship. I thought that Matt Zukowski needed to go offline completely. And I know that he would then lose his income for his podcast and sponsorships and things, but I think it would have saved their relationship, but anyway, what would I know? I think Tammy should go out with a politician like Katy Perry, somebody has said. She very well might. Next question. Steph Claire Smith constantly having her breast pads showing is a massive ick. She is almost sexualizing breastfeeding. I have breastfed for over 2 years now and have never had breast pads exposed. I disagree that having the breast pads showing is sexualizing it. I think it's more that she's trying to be like that relatable, disheveled mum. I think that's the image she's trying to portray. I think that she would have a largely female audience at this point. I think she would have lost a lot of her male followers. So yeah, I don't think she's trying to sexualize breastfeeding, but also I think that she's trying to show that she's breastfeeding. Like, she wants to relate to breastfeeding mums and the troubles of that, and she wants to be like, she's proud that she's breastfeeding. And yeah, I agree. I breastfed for years between my 2 kids and I don't believe I ever had breast pads showing either. But I also, when I was pregnant, never had my belly showing, which is something that Steph Claire Smith is famous for. It's just a different world, honestly. Don't know that one. This question. Getting quite tired of all these brands taking influencers on brand trips and providing them with more free products and merchandise. We all know they probably don't use these brands on a daily basis outside of these trips. I think brands should invite regular clients who spend money on the products. I'm guessing this is in relation to the Cetaphil trip to Falls Creek this week. So Tammy Hembro and Sophia Begg were on it, as well as Cairo, like a whole heap of other influencers. I agree they would definitely not be using Cetaphil products. I think that they would probably use them while they're on the trip. And yeah, they're obviously going to go on the trip and then promote the brand because that's what they have to do as part of the deliverables. As for inviting regular clients on the trip, it would be pointless. So this is a marketing expense. It's not a charity. Like, Cetaphil aren't doing it to be charitable. They're doing it as a marketing expense. So they have a marketing budget and they're paying these people to go on a trip and then promote the brand. So instead of spending $50,000 on billboards or magazine ads or TV ads, they're paying influencers to go on these trips, or they're paying for the trips and the influencers go for free. I'm not sure. It depends on the influencer. Okay, I've got through most of the questions, but I've just noticed the time. So I'm just going to have a quick look on the screen and then I might wrap it up. This person's saying that they knew Matt before Tammy. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they weren't nobodies. This person's saying, I'm sure a lot of famous people reach out to Tammy Hembro. Yeah, I do think so. Thoughts on Henny's photo shoot being in Paris, not Australia? I mean, I would assume that is to get a tax-deductible trip to Paris for Nadia Bartel. How do you think Brittany Saunders does so well with Fate? Community. Community is the answer to that. She has really, really done so well with making everybody feel like part of her community. And that is the key. She's got her Facebook group and yeah, she's just always been such a relatable person and really like gives back to her audience and engages with them and creates a community. She's never too good for anyone. All right, well, thank you all for joining. Thanks for sending in your questions, and I'm going to put this on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. I noticed Spotify is easily the most downloaded channel. even though I don't post the link. I post the YouTube link because I actually get paid for views on YouTube, whereas I don't get paid for Spotify or Apple. But anyway, so thank you, and I will see you all next week. Okay, bye.